Hello there, boys and ghouls. So, Halloween is sadly already over. It comes and goes so quickly. It's really sad, and I really hate how everybody just seem to shove Halloween along and they want to move along and celebrate Christmas instead. But anyway, I figured I would do a small Blu-ray update of some horror movies and other flicks I've picked up, but most of them are horror related, so should be fun. First up, we have the Halloween 35th Anniversary Steelbook Edition. Very nice new remastered edition of Halloween. If you are a fan of Halloween, as I am, then you will probably have bought this movie several times over. Probably owned it at least a good 4, 5, 6 times by now. But this is probably the most definitive version to date. Very nice matte steelbook here. The title is embossed, just beautiful job on this. There's Michael Myers on the back there, looking freaky. Open this up and you have one disc with the newly commissioned artwork for the movie, which was on the digibook version, and a folder which is, I think, identical to the stuff that was in the digibook version. Pretty much the exact same thing. So I watched this last night. Great edition. Looks beautiful. Great audio. Just great stuff. I still haven't listened to the audio commentary with Jamie Lee Curtis and John Carpenter. Should be great. But very nice edition of a classic must-have film. Also picked up Lesbian Vampire Killers. I was finally able to pick this up. I thought it was sold out, but I got lucky. Just a very fun, cheesy horror comedy. It's a bit like Shaun of the Dead, but you may call me crazy, but I actually think this is much better than Shaun of the Dead. I know it's not the popular opinion, but I don't care. I love this movie. It's about these two guys, two hopeless dudes from England, who stumble across a cursed village full of lesbian vampires. That title tells you exactly what kind of movie you're dealing with here. Great production design, very cheesy movie. Just a lot of fun. This is definitely one you can throw on for guys' night if you are having a horror marathon. Awesome movie. I actually really truly love it. It's a great horror experience. Babes, fangs, horror, and comedy. Then we have the classic Carrie from Brian De Palma. So there was a re-release of this just in time for the remake. The remake doesn't open in Sweden until November 29th, I think. So there's still a ways to go. So I picked up the original. A classic film, great film by Brian De Palma. It's definitely my favorite Brian De Palma film, and I am a die-hard Stephen King fan. I just love Stephen King's writing. So, great movie. It has aged, no doubt. I think some of the scenes are rather cheesy, and the effects are not exactly spectacular by today's. But you know, that's also kind of part of the charm. So you just kind of have to live with it. There's the disc artwork right there. If you haven't seen Carrie, look it up. There are actually 3 versions of Carrie. There's this classic De Palma version from '76, I think. There was one in 2002, which was pretty bad, but has some interesting moments to it. And then, of course, there's the new Chloe Grace Moretz, Julianne Moore version, which just opened in theaters. Yeah, Carrie is an awesome Stephen King movie. You know, it's one of those movies that has a place on every Stephen King adaptation list. If you're going to do a top 10, then I'm certain that this is going to be there pretty much on every single list. And I think it deserves a spot there for sure. And we have Excision, one of the best horror films of 2013 in my opinion. Just a great dark, it's got elements of, dark comedy. It's got that sort of outsider teenager thing going on. It's got a very depraved sexual thing going on. It's just a great film. Beautifully shot, great actors in it. Just it really throws you for a loop. It's a very, very unique experience. I'm certain people will just hate it, and some people will just love it. And I'm definitely among the people who just love it. It's a very unique, interesting, just crazy, you know, horror teenage experience. It's kind of a movie that will really make you squirm, laugh, and applaud all at the same time. So, one of the best horror films of the year, it's Excision. Check it out if you haven't already. This is not technically horror, but I picked up the Batman collection with the first 4 Batman films, the 2 Tim Burton films, Batman and Batman Returns, and Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, the Schumacher films. I'm going to be pretty brief about this one. Just found a bargain for this one. Pretty good deal for 4 films on Blu-ray. Got Batman, Batman Returns. I love Batman Returns. That's probably my favorite. I grew up on Batman and Batman Returns. I would watch them like literally 30 times a day if I could, you know. Rewind it, watch it again, rewind it, watch it again. Batman Forever. I don't think it's awful, but I don't think it's great either. Batman and Robin gets a lot of shit, and yes, it's pretty bad. I don't think it's quite as bad as people make it out to be. I think there's still sort of some camp value there. You know, it's a superhero movie, so I don't know. I guess people were expecting Citizen Kane. It is by far the worst Batman movie, but I don't think it's the worst movie I've ever seen. Not by a long shot. But 2 first are great. I particularly love Batman Returns. Great Tim Burton film there. One of my favorite Tim Burton films ever, actually. Batman Forever is okay. Batman and Robin is pretty bad. But, nice to have this collected set of Batman movies. I have the Dark Knight trilogy in 1 pack and the classic 4 Batman films in 1 Blu-ray pack. So should be awesome to check those out and revisit some old memories. A couple of DVDs as well. Picked up Rec 3 or REC3, depending on how you want to pronounce it. It's not quite like the first 2 movies at all. It doesn't really have an awful lot to do with the first 2 movies. I think there are a few details that might actually tie it in, but if you watch this on its own merit, then I think it's a really good horror film. It's got some comedy, it's got some violence, it's got some gore, it's got some brutal zombie kills, beautiful lead actress there. Just a very fun experience. It is not like the first 2. The first 2 Rec movies are great. They're brilliant, actually, I think. Probably some of the best found footage movies I've ever seen. But this is a great film. Well, not great, but it's a very fun, enjoyable film in its own right. Just a fun zombie movie to throw on. Also completed the Chucky collection. I know there's a new Blu-ray box set, but I prefer having these on DVD. First Child's Play. This is an import from the UK, I believe. Haven't had the first Child's Play ever, so it's cool to finally have this one. I have seen it. It's a very fun film. Great stuff with Chucky there. What can I say? You know, it's just a great classic horror movie. Great little slasher. I love Brad Dourif's voice as Chucky. He's just perfect for that role. So, if you haven't seen the original Child's Play, it's pretty fun. It's by no means a masterpiece, but it is a fun, creative little slasher movie. It says the original, the scariest and the best. Not quite sure if I agree with that, so I'm not sure if it should be printed on the cover itself, but anyway. Fun to finally have it. I have all the movies except for Seed of Chucky now, and I will never ever buy Seed of Chucky. It's the only movie in the series that just makes me cringe. I can't watch it at all. A lot of people say they think the third one is bad, but I actually think Seed of Chucky is about 1,000,000 times worse. So anyway, that was the first Child's Play. I also picked up the latest one, Curse of Chucky. Saw this one not too long ago, and I really enjoyed this. I think this might actually be my favorite Child's Play sequel out of all of them. Great atmosphere, great bloody kills, very interesting characters, scenarios. Chucky's back to his old ways. Brad Dourif is fantastic. It really feels like they just ignored Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky altogether and just made basically a sequel to the third one. So if you really want to get the best Child's Play experience possible, I would recommend watching the first 3. Watch Child's Play 1, 2, 3, and then watch Curse of Chucky straight away. Skip Bride, skip Seed, just watch this one. It is a great return to form, and I think this is actually one of the best horror sequels I've seen in a long time. I mean, I cannot really think of a horror sequel that has been quite this good in a long time. Like, Scream 4 was good, but if you're talking about like Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street movies, then I think this is far better than, well, pretty much any of those sequels that has been out in like decades. So I think it's awesome. Like I said, great atmosphere, great gore, very bloody, very violent. You really feel like it really feels like they realized what was wrong, that they were heading in the wrong direction, and they basically went ahead and fixed everything that was wrong with it. Also, remember, if you're watching this movie for the first time, remember to stick around during the end credits, because there is a huge surprise during the end credit sequence. That's all I have to tell you. I actually missed it. When I watched this movie, I turned it off before the end credits began to roll, so I missed it. But it's on YouTube too, if you've already seen the movie. But seriously, if you watch this movie, remember to stick around for the end credit sequence. Also, just a side note, absolutely love this black DVD case. It's this black, shiny, glossy, beautiful DVD case. I wish every single DVD case looked like this on the inside. So cool for a horror movie. Anyway, that was my little horror movie update. Hope you enjoyed this one. What did you guys watch for Halloween? I watched the original Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein, and then I watched John Carpenter's Halloween, and then I actually watched Rob Zombie's Halloween. I know that's kind of sacrilege for a lot of people, but I hadn't seen it in quite some time, so I thought I would actually give it a watch again. I actually kind of like that movie. I know, I suck. Anyway, hope you like this one. Take care. Remember that Halloween continues for as long as you feel like celebrating it. Take care.